Center, a 6'8" senior from Scottsdale, Arizona, number 32, Mark Allery. At forward, a 6'5" senior from Drury, North Carolina, number 12, David Henderson. At forward, a 6'10" freshman from Bowie, Maryland, number 35, Danny Ferry. At guard, a 6'2" senior from Washington, D.C., number 24, Johnny Dawkins. And at guard, a 6' junior from Falls Church, Virginia, number 4, Tommy Amaker. And a head coach for Duke, Mike Krzyzewski. And for Lamar University, starting at guard, a 6'3" junior from Lake Charles, Louisiana, number 21, Danny Gossier. At guard, a 6'2" junior from Beaumont, Texas, number 10, James Nance. At center, a 6'8" sophomore from Newton, Texas, number 54, James Gully. At forward, a 6'4" junior from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, number 44, Carl McCauley. And at forward, a 6'9" junior from San Diego, California, number 32, Anthony Todd. The head coach for Lamar, Pat Foster.
Well, that's the cast here for our second game. There's Pat Foster. Look at that record. 116 wins in just 5 years. That's a tremendous average.
Better than 20 a shot, no doubt about it.
23 wins a year, and Mike Krzyzewski down at the other end has had a great run with this team the last couple of years. 47 wins the last 2 years, NCAA Invitations both times. Don Shea, Wally Tanner, and Robert Bell will be the officials for this second game, using 3 officials here. The 45-second shot clock, of course, is a fixture in college basketball this year. There are the lineups and the matchups. Gaucher and Amaker. Amaker's a great defensive guard. He might go on Nance. Now it'll be Allery. Handy jump against Anthony Todd. Lamar in the red, Duke in the white. Tip control by Duke. Danny Ferry pulls it down for Blue Devils and runs away now. The winner of this game to play UAB for a trip to New York. Zone defense by Lamar. They go quickly that zone, so that was their plan. 3-2 zone. Henderson penetrating, dishes it off to Ferry from the baseline. Shot, and the rookie gets his first shot down. Boy, that could be a big confidence builder for Danny Ferry, if he needs confidence building.
Nice way to start your career.
Great poise he has for a young man. Tremendous maturity. Man-for-man defense by Duke. Penalty there earmarked. Goes back to push to Bobby Knight. Picked off by Allery. And now here comes David Henderson's going to hold up on the break. Boy, Lamar showed great quickness getting back there defensively. Henderson on the outside for Duke. And they're off to a 4-0 lead. The sixth starter a year ago coming off the bench as a specialist is now in the starting lineup. Here's Gaucher, and Amaker on him. Amaker's got very quick hands. Harassing man-to-man defense by Duke. Shot clock's at 20 seconds. Here's Nance, got a pick, and now with the fake gets open. Rebound Allery, up to Amaker. Amaker the point guard, on the break. Inside to Allery for the layup, but he walks to the ball. Never got the handle.
No, he had a little problem with it as Duke tried the fast break, but still a nice pass coming off of there. Just bobbled the ball slightly. And Lamar's going to have to do a little bit better job with their zone defense, picking up the wing.
Amaker read that pass. He's got a 2-on-1 with Dawkins. Dawkins from the left. Boy, Amaker and Dawkins have a single mind. They read each other's movement so clearly. 6-0. Duke was the first 6 points of the game. And the opening game now, UAB ran out in front of a big lead. Another turnover. Henderson felt Dawkins breaking, but down goes Gaucher, makes a good stop. Gaucher, and Nance open again. Second time from that spot makes it count. That breaks the scoring ice now for Lamar. 2 minutes into the game, Duke leads 6-2. Lamar in his zone. Mallory played too far away from the basket last year. Krzyzewski wants to get him more inside. There he goes to the outside. He can do that too. Rebound Ferry. Ferry takes it in, hits off to Henderson, the open man for the bank shot. And Ferry this time commits the foul. McCauley with the rebound. Personal foul by Danny Ferry. First of the game. McCauley started out originally with Lamar and then wound up in a junior college in Oklahoma, then came back to Lamar. He's not pressing that much of a man-to-man, but sticking pretty close down here in the half court. And still clogging up the middle. Now in the zone, so they come out of the man. McCauley out of the corner over the zone. There he goes, rebound, but it's tapped in. First ball tap in by Anthony Todd.
No, they gave it to Gully.
Did they? Okay. Well, Gully gets the tap in. 6-4, Duke by a pair. There, the inside is banged in there and foul. That foul will be on Anthony Todd, the center. All-conference potentially as here in the Southland Conference, of which Lamar is a member, along with Louisiana Tech, that had a great run the last couple of years with Karl Malone. Henderson kisses in for Allery. Oh, a great give and go by Allery.
Well, you don't see it any better than that. Can't even draw it on the blackboard better than that.
8-4, Duke back to another 4-point lead. Now Duke back to his man from there.
Watch this Duke man-to-man, how far they force Lamar out.
Oh, wide open McCauley. McCauley got away from his man. Got an easy shot. 8-6. Lamar hangs back within 2.
Allery just kind of got lost that time along the baseline and lost his man.
Ferry now, Dawkins. Dawkins walks. Dawkins hasn't really gotten in the flow of the game yet, but we're very early. Only 3.5 minutes gone by.
The third traveling violation turnover against Duke as they're pressing just a tad in the forecourt.
Of course, all these teams have been anxious to get out and play somebody. They've been practicing against each other now for over a month. There's Gully. Great pass to Todd. And they got a blocking foul inside on Amaker. Amaker got there a little bit too late, even though he took the punishment on the play.
Well, that was a beautiful little give and go down the middle of the lane as Gully made a nice bounce pass into him. And Amaker thought he had the position all set up and ready to draw the charge, but the official said no.
Hey, Gully showed a little passing talent on that one. Now Anthony Todd has 2 of the 8 points. Chance to tie the score. Nope. Can cut it to 1. It's 8-6. Duke leads with 16 minutes, 6 seconds to go in the first half. Eight to 7. So Lamar down by 6 at one time. Have come back. Score was 6-0. So it's been 7-2 since that time. Dawkins on the outside, a smooth left-hander. Ferry battling for the rebound. It's lost out down there by James Nance of Lamar.
Nance tried to just hustle the ball away from Danny Ferry, and he just couldn't control it.
Some of the Lamar fans to be one-sided as far as Amaker off the dribble hits. Amaker moves Duke back on top now by 3 at 10-7. All 5 Duke starters have scored a field goal apiece. Gaucher, Ferry trying to reach over. The big center, Todd, had gone 25 feet away from the basket, and Ferry went right out there with him.
Now, that's that man-to-man of Duke's. They really are forcing Lamar to get way outside starting their offense.
Yeah, but 2 early fouls on Ferry, and it's going to force Krzyzewski to make a move. He'll get Ferry out of there as Billy King, a defensive specialist, comes in, and we take time out with a 10-7 Duke lead. This game's less than 4.5 minutes old, and Duke's had to give up some height. Ferry with 2 fouls is out. Billy King at 6'5", 6'6" is in.
And Lamar shooting 60% from the floor. Duke at 62.5% in the early going here.
Gaucher being pressured by Amaker, who's very adept at stealing, and here comes Henderson. Henderson giving down on McCauley for the lay-in. Amaker set that up. Henderson saw the opening, and he went for the kill. 5-point lead for the Blue Devils from Durham. 15 minutes to go in the first half. Duke now stepping up its pressure defensively. McCauley up over Dawkins. Height advantage by Carl McCauley pays off, and the junior from Oklahoma City buries that one. 12-9. Duke leads by 3. Here's Henderson the outside, and King kept it alive, and it is Dawkins who gets in there and cannot find the ring. Dawkins has been off the mark so far. 12-9. Duke leading the 3. Lamar can pull within a point. Inside Gully. Gully bangs it too hard. Rebound Billy King. So Duke comes the other way. Up by 3. And, oh, what a pass to Allery by Anderson. Great pass. That's why he's so good at assists. Mikey's going to break all the assist records at Duke. He's just a junior, and he's very close already.
Great peripheral vision there. He just flew that thing down the lane.
Good screen by McCauley. Rebound goes right straight down into Henderson's hands. 5-point lead by Duke. Louisville all the way so far. 14-9. Krzyzewski's got a big, hulking center coming off the bench in a moment. 7-2 Martin Nestle. Dawkins rocks. A little step there, and that's the 4th turnover by Duke. And Dawkins so far has not caught fire, but earlier tonight we saw the same thing with Don Marbury of Texas A&M. There's Martin Nestle, 7-2 out of Columbus, Ohio area. Hometown is actually Whitehall, Ohio. Has been plagued by injury. And in for Lamar is Greg Anderson, 6'11". So Pat Foster counters with his big man, and he's going to give Gully a rest.
That could have been interesting. Nestle at 260, Gully at 280. That could have been aggravated assault. Those two guys get together.
Yeah, and Nestle is down to 260. He was about 290. Reach-in foul by Dawkins. Dawkins may be showing just a shade of frustration here in his debut of 1985-86.
Well, you know, he may be pressing just a little bit. He's had 2 traveling turnovers, now a little silly reach-in foul, and a little bit of a tough start for him.
Lamar trails by 5. Duke man-to-man. Boy, McCauley's been getting the shots. 6 points for McCauley. 14-11. Lamar hanging right in there, down by just 3 points. 13 minutes to go in the first half.
And Allery is having a little defensive problem with him. He just can't stay with him.
They set some pretty good screens for McCauley. King tried to force the ball inside to Nestor. They get a jump ball, and so Lamar will get possession here off the alternation. Some of you who just joined us late probably missed the tail end of our first game, but Mike and I have been here for 2 games so far, and that's the first jump ball we've had.
It is, and that one just because it's a good hustle by Shannon Nero got down on the floor.
Nero is going to play backcourt. McCauley again. He's got the hot hand. 8 points for Carl McCauley, a junior who's warming up. And Lamar moves within a point.
That time Allery got picked by Greg Anderson. He never had a chance to get out to the baseline.
Duke's not finding any openings here in this zone. And to Martin Nestle, and Nestle's foul on the inside by Anderson. First foul on Greg Anderson of Lamar. And Danny Ferry will come back on the floor now with 2 fouls. Pat Foster a little bit upset with his team. He liked the way that zone's been working. Duke has not gotten many good shots the last few possessions. Mark Allery's going to get a rest this time. Nestle stays in there, and Ferry is in. Here's Ferry. Duke just has to show a little more patience here against the zone. Now is Ferry making a mistake. Took his eye off the ball. Another turnover. That's 6th against Duke.
He just looked away from it for a moment, and that little zone defense, Lamar doing a little adjusting and a little changing as they go along with it.
Except for the opening minute, Duke has not been very cohesive. Nero on the outside. And Lamar takes the lead for the first time. 15-14. officials have called timeout just to clear things up. It's Duke's ball. David Henderson wants to get back in the lineup. Well, let's take a timeout. A little under 12 minutes to go in the game. In the first half, Lamar leading for the first time, 15-14, and it was on this play. We'll be right back. Drop behind 6-0, and since that time, it's been all the Cardinals. They've outscored them 15-8.
In the opening minutes, Lamar, I think, had their belt notches a little bit tight when they came out against Duke, and now they're loosened up a little bit, playing some very good zone defense against the Blue Devils. And between Nero and McCauley, they've hit a couple of big outside shots and have a 1-point lead.
Lamar's been in a packed-in zone so far, and Duke has not been able to solve it with any great shot selection. And because of the zone, consequently, Johnny Dawkins has not been able to cut loose. Good ball movement now by Duke. And there's a good skip pass to Ferry, and underneath now they get Henderson to the layup, and Dawkins follows. Tipped up and in by Nestle. 7-2 Martin Nestle went right over the top to get that one for Duke. Duke back in the lead by a point. Second time the lead changed hands here in the last minute. There he is again. McCauley gets wide open. Rebound, and it's going to go out of bounds to Lamar. McCauley has been the only man on the floor that's getting open shots.
And he's had several.
Yep. They did a good job screening. There he is again. A solid screen set inside by Anderson. Now Nance comes to the corner. Good screen. Rebound, Danny Ferry. No outlet pass available. Duke leads by 1 point, 16-15. 11 minutes to go in the first half. Blue Devils ranked up in the top 3 in the country in the national polls. And one of the, here's Henderson driving baseline. David Henderson is a kind of guy. He's got that fire in his eye, drive, and he'll make something happen. Now Lamar down by 3. People look for McCauley. Hey, another rebound. Dawkins running the fast break. To the hands of Nestle, and there was James Nance to pull it off. A tip by Nestle. Boy, Nestle's gotten into several plays in there. He fumbled the ball a moment ago, but he came up with a tip in.
Had a block shot. Now he just turned that one into a positive Duke turnover.
Deflected a pass. 18-15, Duke by 3. Lamar still zoning. Then the one defense they've used so far. Dawkins on the outside. Rebound Henderson. And Henderson just throws it right in the hands of Nance for a turnover.
That's 8 turnovers. 8 turnovers against Duke. And you don't expect that from this ball club.
No, they have not been a cohesive unit so far. Mike Krzyzewski not going to be happy with that performance. Inside, the rebound is battle for. Looks like Anderson will get it, and he's fouled by Nestle. Well, those are 2 big guys in there. Nestle 7'2", and Anderson 6'11".
Well, they're going to bring James Gully back to Lamar and take Anderson out. Let's take a look at this rebound coming up as Anderson battles Nestle underneath. And Nestle actually had position on him, and then their arms get tangled. See that? And Nestle's the guy who gets caught for the foul.
Nestle might have been just a little bit too deep, too much under the basket. A smart team will get a guy now, push him under the basket. That takes him out of rebounding position. And a strong team can do that. McCauley travels. Now, this could be a change here. Krzyzewski has put Billy King, one of his best defensive players on the bench, on Carl McCauley. And let's see if King can check McCauley, who's been real hot. 8 of the 15 points he scored for Lamar.
Lamar staying in that 3-2 zone defense. And the problem with the 3-2, it really makes you vulnerable on the baseline. And see if that's where Duke might try to attack with Henderson or Dawkins right along that baseline against that 3-2 zone.
You saw Eduardo Dravenik, the Brazilian import, is now in the lineup for Lamar. Still zone. There's the alley-oop flop inside of Dawkins. So Amaker finds Dawkins with another weapon, and Dawkins gets his second basket.
And he came from that left baseline, right where they're vulnerable. 20-15. Nice call, Mike. You're right on the button.
Shannon Nero picked up by Dawkins. Lamar's done a good job screening here on this man-to-man. But now they've got a Billy King on McCauley. Got a switch there that time. Amaker had to pick him up.
Matter of fact, that's the third Blue Devil on McCauley in this series down the floor. They're really screening tough.
Well, they're switched off now. They got Amaker on, and then McCauley shoots over Amaker. Amaker had to switch with King, and McCauley just went right over him for his 10th point. 20-17, 3-point lead. Duke, 8:15 to go in the first half. Dawkins baseline drive, and Dawkins steps out of bounds.
That's 4 individual turnovers now against Johnny Dawkins, and the 9th turnover against the Duke Blue Devils.
Well, it's not a vintage game for Dawkins. It was here in Houston that Dawkins suffered an unbelievable cold night at the free throw line that led to Duke being eliminated by Boston College. So maybe something about the water in Houston. There's a good penetration, but it also goes a charge from Nance. Nance just got a little bit out of control. You don't drive the middle against well-coached teams.
No, you really don't. And David Henderson played that beautifully, set his position, and just waited for Nance to come right down through the free throw lane and drew the charge.
Nance had a good idea. Penetrate, get inside where he can cause some damage, and he had Braveney open, but he didn't check his momentum. Oh, nice touch pass to Alloy. Tough break on the shot. Here comes Nance. Lamar can cut it down to 1 point. Gully to the baseline, soft shot. Big guy hits it, and it's a 1-point game at 20-19. Yeah, there's only two things to do when he's got the ball. Get out of his way or get killed, right? 20-19, Duke, and here's a steal. Lamar can take the lead. McCauley to Nance. Well, that's great discipline right there. He could have put up an ill-advised shot, but he's going to look for a better one. They get Shannon Nero open, and a good block out by Dawkins. Dawkins, an outstanding deep rebounding guard, even though he's only 6'2". Now Duke has the ball back with a 1-point lead. Just a little early foul call by Duke. Ferry getting 2 on him rather quickly. Dawkins from the corner. His shot has been off the mark. Another good rebound by Lamar by Paul McCauley. They're looking inside the big guy, Gully. Here's the guy they should look for, McCauley. Now they got Billy King back on McCauley. Good steal by Amaker, and then a reach-in foul. That's on Gully, trying to, that was just a frustration move. He had the ball stripped away from him by the smaller Amaker and tried to retaliate and cost him his first foul.
Yeah, the one-upmanship will get you every time. Mr. Gully got caught.
I say, if they call a guy in Chicago refrigerator, this guy must be the deep freezer right here.
Side by side, anyway.
Timeout with 6:17 to go in the first half. From Houston, it's Duke 20 and Lamar 19, and a good one so far. Will returns, and Quinn Snyder, right there, number 14, he's back to you. A freshman guard from out in Washington State, is in for the first time. 1-point lead by Duke, 20-19. Dawkins penetrating, and Ferry went underneath, trying to go to Alry, and Alry turned his back to block out. Another turnover. That's about 10 or 11 against Duke.
It's number 11 against the Blue Devils.
Lamar can take the lead. Duke having to rely on his solid defense. Gully gets free. That big guy sends Lamar back into the lead. 21-20. Second time that Lamar's led, each time by 1 point. Here's Danny Ferry from the corner. Rebound is put up on the inside by Henderson. The garbage basket, but they all count. That one just fell right to Henderson. Lamar should have had it. Fourth lead change. Now Duke's back on top by a point. Oh, Ferry was right there to pick off that pass. Great move by the big freshman. And Snyder gets it down to Dawkins, who hits under to Henderson, and Henderson is short. Put up by Alry on the follow. And now Nance off for Lamar. But Duke's got the opportunities there. They couldn't.
They really have. Duke's getting some fairly decent shots. They're getting some good shots on the baseline against that 3-2 zone. They can't get anything to drop from 15 feet.
22 to 21. Now Gully again, 3. And over the back. It's going to be on Dravenik.
No doubt about that. Dravenik had one hand on the Blue Devils' shoulder and the other trying to tip the ball in.
46-year-old Pat Foster from Emerson, Arkansas. And what a job he's done at Lamar. Number 5 among all active coaches in percentage of wins. Now that's in heavy company. Arcadian, Dean Smith, Denny Crump. Household names.
Meanwhile, amateurs in there, they're giving Johnny Dawkins a rest. He's had a rough first half.
Snyder hits his first shot. Well, the 2 freshmen made great debuts for Duke. Remember, Berry hit his first shot. Now Quinn Snyder comes in and hit his first. 24-21, Duke back up by 3. It's a well-coached Lamar team. They worked hard against this tough Duke defense, and they've gotten some good shots. Here's Gaucher back in running the attack. Great blindside come and a beautiful feed to man for the basket. That was just tremendous discipline in running that pattern.
They ran a little pick play out around the free throw line, and Gully just looked back over the baseline. Look at that pass. Isn't that pretty?
That is really beautiful. Snyder, who was screened off the play, picked up the desperation foul and gives Nance a chance to tie the score. 3-point play will make it 24-all.
You just don't think about a guy 6'9" and 280 having that kind of touch and that kind of vision to make passing plays, and that's the short passing game right across that lane. That is tough to do.
He's got some great skills. High score. First time we've been tied, but it's 24-all. Well, Duke's had a real struggle here against this unsung Lamar team, bidding for a first big upset of 1985-86.
Well, Lamar's controlled the tempo of the ball game. That's what they wanted to do.
Now, some of the fans yell double dribble, but that was a fumble. That first thing was not a dribble.
Now the Cardinals have switched to a 2-3 zone.
Duke's being forced to shoot the outside. They're not connecting. Rebound, Gully has it. And now Lamar can get its biggest lead of the night. They've led twice, each time by 1 point. Now the score's tied as the Cardinals come down. That's a blocking foul. It'll be the 3rd on Ferry. So Danny Ferry gets his 3rd personal foul, and with Jay Billis out of uniform with an injured knee, that becomes a critical situation for Mike Krzyzewski.
Now, that is going to create a little problem for him depth-wise with 3:19 to go in the first half. And Lamar really controlling the tempo, and Duke obliging them with so many turnovers, and that's why this ball game is very, very close at 24-all.
This is not a big lineup for Duke. Mark Alry probably is going to have to play center unless David Henderson at 6'5" goes into play.
And now you've got a real mismatch inside with Gully going against a much smaller man. He might look for Lamar to really try to push that ball inside along the low baseline.
2-point lead by Lamar. 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go, and Lamar has not given an inch to Duke so far. The Cardinals from Beaumont have taken the 2-point lead, 26-24. We'll be back after this. That's been the order of business.
They've done it 5 times in a row, as a matter of fact. 20-12 on the season. Last year, into the NIT, Pat Foster again with a very fine ball club, and they're showing themselves very well against tough Duke here at the Summit. The opening round of the NIT tournament.
2-point lead by Lamar. Duke now forced to try and come from behind. They've been stalled here by Lamar's zone defense. Dawkins trying to penetrate, gets it to Henderson. Back to Dawkins, got his block. Dawkins got his own rebound, gives off to Henderson, driving for the layup. Oh, that was good. 2-man play on the inside by Dawkins and Henderson. Henderson with 10 points has been the scoring leader for Duke tonight so far. 26-all, tied for the second half. Contrasting defenses. Tough zone by Lamar and a harassing man-for-man by Duke. And a jump ball situation. Here goes the ball to Duke. So the Blue Devils, in effect, force a turnover with 2:34 remaining in the first half. 45-second shot clock. Get used to that. It'll be with you throughout this season for the entire game.
A lot of people like that rule, and there's a lot of people that don't like the rule. Vince, I guess that if you're a coach who likes to run or a coach who likes to play a little four corners now and then.
Carl McCauley, who was red hot in the first part of the game for Lamar, now is checked back in the game. They're taking away the passing lanes for Duke with this 3-2 zone. Henderson goes cross court and has it blocked out of bounds.
And they keep changing from 3-2 to 2-3. Now they're back to the 3-2 again, where they become a little more vulnerable along the baseline.
Amaker, nice move to get open by Tommy Amaker. Boy, does he have quickness.
He outquicked the Lamar defense that time. They just didn't have an opportunity to fall back into their spots.
28-26, Duke's back on top. Chance to pass to Gully's broken up. Amaker tried to save it. It'll be Lamar basketball. Clock shows 1:56 to go in the first half.
I'm really surprised they haven't tried to go down to Gully a little bit more. That's the first time they've really sent it inside to him. And he's in a pretty good mismatch inside.
Gravely comes outside to McCauley. Now they got Dawkins on McCauley. McCauley, Mike Henderson has 10 points. Here's Gravely, blocked in the baseline. Weak side rebound by Henderson. But then Henderson leads the fast break. And a great face-off by Henderson. And the layup is put in there by Billy King. So Henderson shows his great versatility as he goes ahead and leads the fast break. 30-26. Here's McCauley with a hand in his face, gets his 12th point. That time he wasn't free, he just put it up right over Dawkins.
That's a George Gervin shot. Nice turnaround jumper.
Duke played back to 2, 30-28. Lowry out of the corner. And Dawkins almost tapped that ball in. And he is guilty of a foul.
And Johnny Dawkins just continues to have his problems as he picks up the personal foul. He's had 4 turnovers here in the first half. Has not played a very good floor game. Watch him here as he tries to get up in there. And over the top, he comes flying down the lane. Anthony Todd, I guess, got the worst of it.
He has great leaping ability. Kevin Strickland comes in for the first time for Duke. 6'5" sophomore from Mount Airy, North Carolina. Outstanding shooter, Strickland is. So he may be sent in to see what he can do about breaking up this Lamar zone.
Meanwhile, Dawkins will get a rest.
And Dravnik will go to the line.
That's the way they shoot the free throws in Brazil.
I guess so. Have to shoot him up over Sugarloaf Mountain, or whatever it is they call it. 30-29. Dravnik can tie the score.
Watch the arch he gets on this thing.
Yeah. He wouldn't be very good in the wind, would he?
No, he wouldn't. Schoolyard is definitely out for him.
1 minute to go in the first half, and a tie score. That's been the kind of game it's been. Let's see if they try to get Strickland open here. Shoot over this zone. Oh, there he was. Now, yeah, there goes Strickland. That's what he's there for. Strickland comes in, bombs the zone. Now it's 32-32.
Oh, Duke's been balanced. Everybody who's played has scored so far.
9 players have scored for Duke. That is balanced. Only Henderson has really broken loose with 10 points.
Well, you play a zone, you don't know who to go man to man.
Well, they double team there. Almost left McCauley open again. Boy, Lamar really does a workmanlike job getting the open shot. 13 seconds to go. Shot clock is off, so they can wait for the last shot here and try to tie it at the half. 5 seconds to go. There's McCauley, who's been hot. Rebound is down to Allery. They got only 2 seconds to go. Henderson from mid-floor as the first half ends with Duke up by just a basket at 2 points, 32-30. Nobody was ever able to get out very much of a lead in this one, although Duke scored the first 6 points of the ball game. Lamar quickly came back, and they used a tight zone defense and some nifty playmaking to spring Carl McCauley loose. And a one-time led by a couple of points. Duke's biggest lead after that first flurry, never much more than 2 points. And that's what it is here at the halftime. So the first half is history as Mizzlou Television Network sends you the Big Apple NIT from Houston. It's Duke 32, Lamar 30, and coming up will be our halftime show. By 2 or 3 occasions, by a point or two, and now it's 32-30 Duke as we start to the second half. I think it'll be Lamar's basketball.
Had 5 lead changes in that first half, 3 ties. Duke's biggest lead was 6 when they jumped off that 6-0 lead. Lamar's biggest lead's been 2, so it's been tight the whole ball game. Good basketball game to watch.
Lamar takes over at midcourt. James Nance and Danny Gaucher still in the guard. This is Gaucher, the point guard. And Duke going to stay in its man-to-man defense. Interested to see what Duke tries to do with the Lamar zone once they go to the attack. Pretty well stymied in the first half. That ball is tipped out of bounds by Amaker, who's claiming now that Gully also got a hand on it, but Gully says, not me, I wasn't close to it.
No, he wouldn't admit to it. No.
Besides, I never saw the ball. 32-30 Duke. Oh, good inbound tie. Oh, they get it in there nicely to tie, Anthony Todd. And he scores an easy one, and we're tied up for the 4th time. 32 all. Here's the zone that gave Duke a lot of headaches in the first half.
Yeah, they've changed it. It's 2-3 now to start this.
Into Ferry, and he actually walked with the ball, but it's still turned over to Lamar. Lamar got a chance to take the lead. There's Gully. Now Gully at the baseline, and he walks. The basketball count. Traveling violation by Gully.
That's a nice little play. As Gully was turning, one of the Blue Devils, I think it was Henderson, came rolling underneath the baseline and cut underneath him as he moved the ball away to keep it from being knocked away. That's when he traveled. Nice little play by Henderson.
High score. Henderson's been a big man for Duke in this game so far. Dawkins, let's see if he can get going. Dawkins was not hitting that jump shot in the first half.
Well, he nailed that one down, Don. We got a foul inside the boot.
Yeah, I got a foul on Todd. That means the ball will go back to Duke. So Duke will get possession, and this could be a 4-point trip down court if they can convert. Costly foul by Anthony Todd.
Lamar stays in the 2-3 zone. Now the wing should open up.
Here's Dawkins out of the corner. And rebound. Alry got it. Good hands by Alry. Dawkins again. In closer this time. Well, he's just having a cold night shooting. 34-32 Duke.
Yeah, he's got extra hard iron tonight. There's no doubt.
Oh, good feed into Gully. Gets open. That's offensive interference. Lamar player tipped the ball and is over the rim. I think it was Todd. So Duke gets the ball. In effect, a turnover. Might have left that ball long. Should have dropped in. You never know when they're rolling around like that.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing in the world today, is to leave it alone.
Now it's a 1-2-2 zone. They keep switching these men around there just to keep Duke off stride. Amaker, good penetration. Wanted to go to Ferry, and it's nicely blocked out of bounds inside by Todd. Good defensive play. 2-point lead Duke. Now, Alry goes to the outside. Alry has not been able to get inside, which is something that Krzyzewski wanted to do this year, even though he's pretty good with that perimeter shot. Doesn't get fouled that much out there. Todd dumps it on the inside to Cully, and here's Amaker over the wrist. Second foul on Tommy Amaker, playmaking point guard for Duke. Duke will give you a lot of weak side help defensively. That time it cost him a little bit. Pat Foster was saying my man was shooting. They said, no, get him before that. So just inbound pass. Here's McCauley. Such a thorn in Duke's side in the first half. side. Gully gets free. The fans love that. 280 pounds with a slam dunk.
Allery just got lost at the train depot that time.
34-34. Remember, Duke's playing without Jay Billis and also with Ferry with 3 fouls. Well, Allery missed an easy one. Ferry goes for the rebound. The foul's going to be on James Gully. Big Lamar forward gets his second personal foul. Allery has done a good job getting inside a couple of times as he did there, but he's missed the shots.
He's trying to hurry things a little bit. There he is underneath the basket, and see Gully come right in behind him and a little bit of a push.
Gully never knew that happened, you know. Just sort of bounced off him. 34-34. They're checking. There might be a slight nosebleed to Allery, but John Shea, one of the officials, went down to look him over, but he's okay. Amaker free. Duke's totally shooting hand has hurt them here. 34-34 tie, and Lamar now can get the lead with 17 minutes to go. Amaker, good steal, feed to Dawkins. Here's Dawkins racing with Nance on him, but Dawkins can handle that. 8 points for Johnny Dawkins. Now over 1,750 career points. 2-point lead by Duke. It's been a pesky Lamar team. Gully free again. Through the layup. Well, that's costly for Lamar. Duke will not get into a racehorse transition game with you. They'll take the break if it's there, but they're a very disciplined team. Henderson driving, hit by Henderson, kept up by Allery. Mark Allery's 6 points.
That time Gully got caught outside trying to play a little wing defense on the zone, and Allery had an easy tip in.
4-point lead by Duke. It's one of the bigger leads they've had. Allery, good defense, denying inside the Gully. Shot clock at 20 seconds. Now Gaucher gets open. Amaker tried to draw the foul, but the officials were not going to do it. Not that much contact. Gaucher's first basket.
That's a gamble you really take, and if you hit the floor and you don't draw the charge, then you almost for sure give up the 2 points.
Yeah, you sacrificed all your defense. 38-36. 2-point lead by Duke. We'll almost telegraph that one. Amaker goes inside. Ferry up over Gully. Dawkins keeps it alive, and Allery taps it in, but you can almost credit part of that to Johnny Dawkins.
Yeah, Johnny Dawkins got a real good piece of that, and then Todd did not block off on the boards, and Allery had the easy basket.
4-point Duke lead with 15 minutes remaining. Now McCauley was so hot in the first half, nothing changed. McCauley's 14th point. 40-38, Lamar within a pair. Still in the zone.
Now back to the 3-2 again.
Now they're 2-3. They just keep rotating. Dawkins outside. Can't hit it. Been off the mark with that shot all night. Here's Nance on a feed. Now it's partially blocked down there by Dawkins, and Amaker comes up with it. So Dawkins may not be hitting his jumper, but he comes up with a little defense. 40-38, 2-point Duke lead. Oh, good pass to Allery by Ferry. What a smart player Ferry is. He's really going to be a great asset for Duke.
Lamar got caught trying to make a little adjustment inside on the zone. People were looking around, and there's Allery wide open.
4-point Duke lead. Now McCauley again. Off the mark. Henderson comes out of there with it. Oh, Duke's got a chance now to equal its biggest lead, which is 6-0 at the outset of this game. They're up by 4 with the ball. Lamar still in zone. David Henderson from the corner, been a big man, as we've said. 12 points for Henderson. 44-38, that equals the biggest lead they've had, and Lamar is going to ask for a timeout. Well, Pat Foster's going to huddle up. 13 minutes and 41 seconds to go. Duke 44, Lamar 38. So don't go away. This one's still cooking in Houston. 44-38. Duke's got a 6-point lead, and that represents equal to the biggest lead they've had in this game. Lamar now will try to cut into that. 13-41. Billy King has returned to the Duke lineup, replacing, let's see, Nestle is in for Perry. King has come in for Henderson. Here comes Dawkins. Dawkins running through second. This is where he usually shines. Dawkins up the break. 10 points now. Dawkins finally hits double figures here with 13-19 to go. Nance and Nero now teaming at guard for Lamar. Feed inside the Gully, and Gully is out of bounds. Duke double teaming nicely. They had the baseline blocked off with Lowry and then Nestle from behind.
Yeah, that was a nice combination for Duke. Tony Harris and Greg Anderson also are back in the game for Lamar now.
First time for Harrison, a freshman from East Chicago, Indiana. But still, there they had King open for the alley-oop. Just a bad pass by Amaker, but they cleared out that size nicely, and King was coming in there wide open.
And we just saw history made. Amaker had a turnover. He just doesn't do that.
Well, he had an easy pass, really, for that alley-oop. This is Duke's biggest lead, 8 points. Gully again, baseline. They're double teaming him down there. Here comes Dawkins. And Amaker's left open. Nestle kept it alive, but he goes over the back. Martin Nestle, 7'2". Big guy got up there, but he was over the shoulder of a Lamar player. That's team foul number 2 against Duke in the second half. Lamar likewise committed 2. Duke has yet to go to the free throw line in this game. Get it into the big guy, Gully. I think Nestle might have gotten a hand on it, and here comes Dawkins. Duke's been running a little bit more the last minute or so, and this one is off the leg either of Lowry or Dawkins and out of bounds.
Now, Dawkins lost the dribble. Lowry tried to save it. It couldn't. They're going to have to get Gully out because, you know, the big guy, the 7'2" fella, Nessie is really causing him some problems inside. He's really intimidating Gully.
They come back in with Anthony Todd as Gully right there sits down. Well, he'll have NFL team ruling. He's never played football. Believe that. Oh, Nero almost got away from a walk there. Inside to go to Anderson. He scores over Nestle. Well, Anderson had the key against Nestle, and Nestle picks up his 3rd personal foul. And Danny Ferry, who also has 3 now, checking back in for Duke right here, replacing Nestle. And Henderson's had a nice rest, so he'll return. There's Pat Foster.
And Nestle's matchup with Gully's a good one. They're both about the same speed, and then Nestle, of course, has the height advantage over Gully. But Anderson comes in, adds a little more quickness, and is also close to 7 feet himself, and it changes around inside.
Now, here's a case where Henderson, who started the game at forward, is coming in to play guard. He comes in replacing Amaker, and Dawkins will become the point guard. Anderson connects on a 3-point play. So with 11:48 to go, Lamar staying very much in this game. They're down by just 5 points and a lot of time to go. It's Duke 46 and Lamar 41. That's in the favor of Lamar, the decided underdog. So if they stay within 3, 4, 5 points, there's always a chance at the end of the game they can pull off the upset.
That's right. Then you get it down to a half-court game the longer you go. Right now, Duke with 25 rebounds and Lamar only 14 for the game. That's one of the big differences for Duke right now on the positive side.
Oh, he tried to force a pass to the inside, and Henderson gets hammered in there. And it's going to be a personal foul, I think, on Tony Harris, who stepped in to get the rebound.
Also, Duke has had 13 more shots in this game than Lamar. 45 shots for Duke, only 32 for the Lamar Cardinals.
Anderson open, a little strong. Rebound picked up by Anthony Todd. Boy, up floor. Greg Anderson really took a nasty spill, but he's okay.
Getting a little more physical now.
Well, here's Lamar can get within 3. Oh, big rebound by Billy King. So Duke comes back to the attack, leading by 5. 11 minutes, 10 seconds to go. 46-41. A lot of prestige on the line for the Blue Devils. Another pass broken up. Recaptured by Dawkins. And in goes Henderson, but he walks. Too many steps for Henderson. Good call. A little hop skip in there by Henderson. He knows it.
Duke now with 13 turnovers in the game.
Pat Foster shouting, exhorting his team here. They failed by only 5 points. Still almost 11 minutes to go. Haven't been getting that little open jumper as much here in the second half. Nice rundown over there by Anderson. Nance gets to the inside and scores. James Nance brings Lamar back within 3. 46-43. Well, these Lamar fans have been on their feet throughout this game. Small in number, but they've been very vocal. Having a tough time penetrating this tight zone. Tried to thread it in there to Abaster, and here comes Harris for Lamar, and Dawkins at the other end makes the interception. Dawkins one-hand pass to Henderson behind his back to Berry for the lay-in, and they're going to get goaltending by Harris, I believe, and maybe a foul. Basket is going to be allowed, and a foul on the play. Well, Dawkins really beat it back up court. That was a key there.
He really did. Great play. Look at this. Dawkins with a perfect pass down the floor to Henderson. Nance goes by, and then behind the back it goes to Ferry. Now watch Harris. Slap the ball away, goaltending, then comes down on top of Ferry for the foul. Just a bad play all the way around for Tony Harris.
And this will be the first free throw of the night for Duke as a team. Their 48 points has come on 24 field goals. Good rebound by Henderson on the inside. Scores, and he's fouled. Well, this is turning in to be a great possession for Duke and a disaster for Lamar at this stage of the game.
That was fouled on number 52 for Lamar. That is Greg Anderson.
Second one on him.
Now watch this. As Henderson gets the loose ball, he and Anderson collide. Anderson backing up looking for a charge, but his position wasn't set.
And now Gully's coming back in. David Henderson waits. He's taken over the leadership role, it would appear, from this watching this game tonight. Would you say so?
Yeah, it looks like he has really asserted himself in that area.
There's a whistle. And they've got a lane violation against Allery. So Lamar gets the ball. So Duke's had 2 free throws now, missed them both. 50-43, but that was a good trip down court. They come up with 4 points. And the 7-point lead is within one of their biggest. Oh, nice drive in there by Nance. 9 points for James Nance. He ended up last season a little bit of a slump, and I'm sure Pat Foster's happy to see him back in the scoring column a little more often. Dangerous pass. Dawkins hits Henderson. Henderson goes inside, hook shot, walks. Well, that was really a Hail Mary job there.
It really was. Not a very smart move by Henderson. He was just trying to find a little open area and launch that shot up there.
Well, he got his feet tangled up and probably had nothing else to do. 50-45. This leads only 5 points. Lamar has come back time and again. Now's a chance to pull within 3. Going to the gully, broken up by Ferry. Mullis turnover, affected by Ferry. Dawkins driving. Johnny Dawkins gets the baseline. Duke now putting on a little bit more heat offensively. 52-45. The lead back to 7 with 9 minutes to go. Nance tries his luck on the outside after a good drive and a good follow on the inside by Todd.
Nice acrobatic rebound by Anthony Todd.
52-47. See if Duke can answer that as they come back up court. Lamar Lamar's been in the zone of some type the entire game. Into Ferry in traffic. A good block in there by McCauley. And now Lamar will try to cut it back down to 3 again. Well, that was a hot shooter, McCauley, and Henderson does another great job getting the rebound.
You know, Pat Foster's not too happy with that, so he wanted him to take some time and set the play up instead of Nance taking that 20-foot jumper from the side.
You see McCauley's come out here on almost a point. It's almost like a 1-2-2 zone. Henderson, baseline, good acrobatic move. Boy, Henderson takes an athlete to make that move.
Now, that's what he wanted to do the last time, but they cut him off from the baseline. He had to go through the middle of the lane.
54-47, Duke. Goshaw, and knocked down by Lowry. Lowry in the middle to Anderson. Great dish to Dawkins. And a foul on the play comes before the shot.
And McCauley reached out and got him. And that's not a bad play by McCauley. Dawkins had the layup unless he gets him back there.
Here was an interesting little situation here because Dawkins looked like he had the lead of the basket, and Mike Krzyzewski's calling for the new rule that the man fouled him from behind and should call for 2 shots in possession, but that's not going to happen. Timeout is called. 7 minutes and 34 seconds left in the game. Duke now has worked out the one of its more comfortable leads. 7 points at 54-47. We'll be back. Out of the woods yet, as they say. The Blue Devils have had a battle on their hands since the outset tonight from Lamar. And right now it's a 7-point lead for Duke, 54-47. One of the kingpins from the powerful Atlantic Coast Conference. Duke figures to battle North Carolina and Georgia Tech this year in the ACC Upper Division. Sometimes the weak side of the zone is open for the lob. They haven't tried it that much. Here's Dawkins off the mark again. Now Lamar a chance to pull within 5. McCauley's the man they want. There he is. Henderson has checked him. Now Nance. And a rebound by Henderson. Duke's done a good job on the boards, even though the big guys have been in foul trouble. Henderson driving all the way, kept alive by Billy King for the lay-in. Nice fight in there by Billy King, 56-47. Krzyzewski probably did not like the shot by Henderson that time.
But that's the biggest lead of the ball game for Duke, the 9-point lead.
You're exactly right. They've been 8 up before that. That foul came before the ball was against Billy King. Holding. Mike Krzyzewski just shouting because he watched the switch, and as we pointed out to you all evening, the switch has really hurt Duke's defense here tonight because Lamar time and again has been able to get especially Carl McCauley open for jump shots. There's McCauley down on the bench. He'll have a tough time making it from there. Good inbound play to Anderson, and the rebound picked off by King. Well, Duke now's got a chance to make the lead double figures for the first time tonight. They're up by 9 with the ball and 6 minutes to go. Oh, bad pass inside. That was telegraphed. Easy job that time for Nero to pull that off. Shannon Nero back to the other end, partially blocked by Lowry, and an offensive rebound by Gully, who follows. 8 points for James Gully.
The Blue Devils with 17 turnovers in this ball game. Lamar, by the way, has 12, so they're catching up here in the second half.
Now that gap is narrowing down a little bit. Lowry over inside the zone. Lowry just turns around and hit his 12th point. 58-49, another 9-point lead by Duke. Winner of this game will play UAB here on Sunday in Houston, and that'll be for the trip to New York for the Big Apple NIT fans. Dawkins pulls it off. Dawkins got Lowry on his right. Dawkins will pick it up Lowry and walks. Dawkins lost his foot. He started to get up and argue. He saw his coach, Krzyzewski, and Dawkins just froze. He no better than to start an argument.
No, that was, you know, I can understand him being a little upset. It looked as though he might have been tripped coming through there and lost his footing down the lane. Does Lamar look tired to you now, Jim? They look like they may be waning a bit.
Could have been a little bit spent. Duke's used a lot of players and often, like Krzyzewski's done a pretty good job resting, especially his big men. Harris. And there's Danny Ferry keeping the ball alive, and Ferry is fouled. And that could be another sign of what you're talking about, Mike, because Lamar's beginning to foul a little bit for the first time in the game.
And that's a tired foul right there, too, with Anderson reaching in on the rebound with no chance. Take a look at this now. Good position for Duke underneath the boards, and see Anderson just reaching in. You can almost see the exhaustion on his face. It's a little bit of a tired ball club right now as the Lamar Cardinals.
So we come down to the prize freshman for Duke, Danny Ferry from Samantha High School out of Hightsville, Maryland. His hometown is Bowie, and we're going to jump ball. Both players hit that ball together out of bounds. Duke has had only 3 free throws in the game. They missed all 3 of them. 58-49 the score, Duke leading. Anthony Todd comes back in, replacing Anderson. That was Anderson sitting down. 2-3 zone now.
They have done a nice job changing that zone. They've kept Duke a little bit off balance with all the changes they've made in their zone defense.
Duke should get a jump shot here against this. 25 seconds to go. And Krzyzewski wants Duke to just milk that clock down. They've got a 9-point lead. Has a lot of confidence in his defense. Shot clock's at 13. Henderson takes an off-balance shot, and Nero comes up with the ball for Lamar. So Lamar will try to get it back to 7 with 4 minutes to go. And McCauley walks a basket. Well, it didn't go anyway, but a traveling violation turns it over. Exactly 4 minutes remaining. And back in comes Harris. Tony Harris, a young freshman guard, replacing McCauley. As Pat Foster tries to counter, he sees that Duke maybe will try to hold the ball down on the shot clock a little bit, so he puts in a little more speed. They're going to go man for man.
They got to go man to man now with 3:50 to go.
First time tonight, Lamar comes out of its zone. Amaker penetrates into Ferry. Boy, Duke picked that up in a hurry, didn't they?
No, Amaker saw that man-to-man defense, licked his chops, and went right into the key.
Duke has a great man-to-man offense. They've been stymied a little bit by the zone for a while here tonight, but now they're getting command. It's an 11-point lead. Biggest of the game. The foul on Amaker will be his third. 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go. And you wonder now if time may be running out a little bit on Lamar. We get a timeout. 3.5 minutes. It's all for Lamar 49. Duke wins this game. It'll bring up a rematch of last year in a preseason tournament or a holiday tournament when Duke and UAB played, with Duke winning that one by about 10 or 12 points.
That ought to be a pretty decent matchup if Duke goes on here.
Now, if it happens, Lamar's far from being out of this game. Todd goes to work on the inside. Rebound. Dawkins tried to save it, or rather Amaker tried to save it. Dawkins couldn't reach it.
It's almost like an overhand volleyball serve that he tried to pop back in there.
Down to 3:15. Now Lamar's got to make every minute count here. Here's Nero. Oh, a nice feed into Todd, and he draws the 3-point possibility with a personal foul on the play.
And that's exactly what Duke doesn't want, is to give him the 3-point opportunity.
First foul on Alway. Watch it.
Here it comes. Todd with a nice dish off underneath, and they go up to challenge him. And that's Alloway who got the foul.
And Todd did a great job protecting the ball.
He did
with his right hand. 3-point play by Todd. Doesn't take many of those to catch you up. 60-52, and the lead suddenly is 8 with 3:06 to go. Here comes Dawkins to Alway, and he kicks it out of bounds. So suddenly, the Goblins are getting after Duke again.
And Johnny Dawkins made a little mistake there. Really, that's the time for the little shovel pass, not the bounce pass that close to a man.
There's the bounce pass to Nance, and Johnny once, twice, yes. 10 dangerous James Gully, 280-pounder. And Lamar's found new life now with 2:35 remaining. 60-54, a 6-point game.
Duke's going into their motion offense here, try to run that clock.
And everybody playing high. They'll be looking down to try and break somebody for a layup. Reach-in foul will be on Tony Harris. Third foul on Harris. And a 1-and-1 for Fury. Well, here's one department where Duke has been completely lacking tonight. That's free throwing.
No, they haven't had many opportunities.
Pat Foster for Lamar. I think he'll have an interesting season.
Yeah, they should be pretty tough in the Southland Conference this year, and by the time playoff time gets around, they should be all right.
Free throw, bonus shot now coming from Fury. That's the first free throw converted by Duke tonight with 2:22 to go. So they played almost 38 minutes without hitting a free throw. And had no chances in the first half. Both ends, and it's 62-54. Duke now back to an 8-point lead with 2:20 remaining.
Well, Perry picked a pretty good time to get the first two of the ball game for him.
Now Lamar's going to make every possession count here to have any chance. They lob it to Gully. There's the first one. 12 points for Gully. 6-point lead again by Duke. Still over 2 minutes to go. Duke figures that 2 more trips down the floor after which they can run out the clock. Unless Lamar starts fouling. Seconds left on the shot clock. 1:40 on the game clock. So if they can get it down to 1:20, they're going to take only 2 more possessions to stall out the game. That's the mathematics of it. Here goes Dawkins flying through the air, and this shot is picked off on the inside by Todd, so Lamar still got life. Basket here would cut it to 4. Timeout. That timeout definitely came from the bench. Pat Foster wants to set his strategy and make some definite plans here. He needs 3 baskets to get back even in the game. What do you think, Dick? Mike?
Well, one thing he's got to do, he's had great success. Duke's been in that man-to-man, and the last time down the floor, he had success lobbing down low to Gully. Their outside shooting has not been very good in the last 3 or 4 minutes of this half. So he might try to work something inside to Gully on the lob. If that's not there, then you take the baseline jumper. But what he has to do is score and score quickly. He can't fool around because of the 1:17 left to play on the clock. And if you're Duke, now might be the time to go into his zone defense to see if you could go ahead and make them take the outside shot, make them take a bad percentage shot.
Keep the ball away from Gully and Todd on the inside. Well, that's Krzyzewski's call to make, of course, which he's doing right now.
A reminder that the final game is...
Now, they've got their defense set. They know what they want to do. And in addition to that, he's already told them what he wants defensively here and then what he wants when they get the ball to come back down. And again, probably it will be that motion offense where they pull everybody out to the top of the key, run the motion, run the clock. Lamar's going to have to start giving a foul rather quickly, especially if they don't score on this possession.
All right, Lamar will have 1:17 seconds. They must score 3 times and keep Duke from scoring. That's what they need to get even in this game. They're down by 6.
And they look like they're going to stay at a man-to-man defense.
Out of the corner. Good rebounding position by Lowry, and Dawkins comes up with a loose ball. So Lamar sees his first opportunity go wasted. Duke can really pull him away from the basket now. They keep an open middle. Lamar's got to be careful that somebody doesn't sneak in there for an open shot. There's the foul that stops the clock. That'll be whistled against Shannon Nero. Number 1 on Nero, who, by the way, may get into the starting lineup. He broke a hand in practice a short time ago. You see the little tape on his left hand. And he's a starting caliber player.
They're going to get McCauley back in now for offensive purposes. The outside shooting situation. Lamar got the shot they wanted down there on the out-of-bounds play. Nance had the nice baseline jumper, but he just couldn't get it down.
58 seconds to go. Henderson off the mark. So Lamar still has hope.
Well, Duke's going to keep it close.
Now Duke's in the zone. Here's Todd driving in to score. Did they call timeout? Nope. They had timeout to spin there, but they didn't call it. 40 seconds to go. Gully intercepts. Not a wise pass, maybe. Nance comes back. Here's Nance feeding off. Gully comes through there. Gully for the layup, but there's a foul first, and I don't think the basket will be allowed.
No, he got him on his way in. The foul is going to be against Duke, though, and it'll be 1-1 for the Lamar Cardinals, and we are going to have a timeout now.
Mark Alry committed the foul. The clock is 32 seconds. Lamar trailing by 4, but the two free throws they'll have coming back could take care of half of that. So you can see that Lamar very much stays in the game.
Take a look at the replay as Gully reaches out, got a hold of the basketball somehow, and starts down the lane. But way back there is where Allery got him before the shot was ever in the air. But now it's an interesting situation because if Lamar makes the free throws with 32 seconds on the clock, they're within 2, and they don't have to be as harried with their defensive strategy. They can actually let Duke bring the ball up across the midline. If they can't force a turnover there, then they can commit the foul.
Well, they could usually, like you say, 10, maybe 15 seconds trying to get a turnover. But once they get down to 15 seconds, I think they're going to have to go ahead and foul, because if Duke makes the free throws, then they're still, they got to score more than once.
You know, you never like to talk about deliberately missing a shot, but if Gully's shooting free throws here, if he makes his first one, one thing you could look for is a man that big putting up the ball, and if he misses, he's coming down the lane to get a rebound, but probably that won't happen. He'll try to make both these free throws.
No, I agree with you there. I think he'll make them both. He'll try to make them both. Well, he's big enough to make them both, right?
I think he's big enough to do anything he wants.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they had him under 270 pounds, you know, and then he suffered a stress fracture, and Pat Foster just holds his breath every minute. Can you imagine a guy this big pounding around with a stress fracture? Very critical free throw. Oh, that's a good touch for a big guy. That's 13 points for Gully.
He's a good free throw shooter. Has been ever since he was in high school.
This to pull Lamar within 2. That's a 2-point game. Now Duke's got to be very, very careful. 32 seconds to go. Lamar's going to be going all out with a frantic press. Duke's got to get the ball in bounds in 5 seconds and then get it across the middle in 10. They get the ball in the hand of Dawkins. Duke is not interested in taking a shot unless it's a wide open layup. 20 seconds to go.
Now they've got to give the foul.
Now there it is. McCauley fouling Dawkins.
Not exactly the guy you want to foul, but...
Well, but it was in Houston in March or April, or late March, where Dawkins had his nightmarish free throwing night.
That's true.
And it cost them an NCAA berth in the regional when they were beaten by Boston College. Did not take anything away from Boston College. They made a great comeback. But it was obvious if Dawkins had been on his free throw that night, that game would have been over.
Well, here he is. Not having a good game, but he's a money player.
Yeah, there you go. Just like we saw Steve Mitchell in the first game, and that one might have put it beyond reach, although 17 seconds can be a very long time. 14 points for Dawkins. So, blue chip player comes through when it really counts. 4-point lead by Duke now with 12 seconds to go. And Lamar's got to score quickly. And inside they do score, and it's timeout. Good follow by Nance. Lamar gets it back to 2 with 6 seconds to go. They kill the clock. And it's still not over. So we have seen an exciting battle here between underdog Lamar from Beaumont, Texas, out of the Southland Conference. And that conference has been protesting for years that they don't get the due credit. Well, maybe you understand why now.
Got some good basketball teams in that conference, and there's a little air ball that Nance just happened to be standing in the right place, laid it up off the glass, and now there's Coach K designing exactly what he wants to do. And what he's telling them there is how they're going to inbound the ball.
Yeah, they're going to get a man for... You see, you can You could break a man. He could make a pass out of bounds. It's not a violation. But he's given exactly their assignments. That's going to be their first task, is to get the ball in bounds with 6 seconds to go. And now Lamar, if Duke gets the ball in bounds, Lamar's got to foul.
It looked like what they were going to do is set a screen out here on the right side of the free throw line and try to break somebody into the corner for their first option inbound. And if that doesn't work, they go back toward the other corner off the screen. We'll see how it works. But Lamar's got to try to deny the inbound pass or intercept it. If they don't do either one, they've got a foul right there.
Well, there are 3 things that could happen for Lamar. 1, they could deny the inbounds pass. That gives them possession. 2, they could intercept. 3, they could force Duke to foul trying to get the ball inbounds. That's the 3 things that can happen. And for Duke, of course, there's only one good thing that can happen.
That's the buzzer to go off.
To get the ball inbounds. Or I guess for Lamar to foul.
Now Duke has 3 timeouts left. Lamar has 1. So Duke could actually take a look here. If things don't work out, they can call a timeout and not be penalized.
I'm sure that Krzyzewski covered that in the huddle. 6 seconds to go. They get it in right there to Henderson, and he's fouled. 1 second went off the clock. Fouled immediately by Shannon Nero. And the man they foul is Henderson, who is 0 for 2 at the line tonight.
They're calling that a 1-and-1. And I'm sure fans are looking at that and saying it's impossible. That's a deliberate foul. But you almost have to commit third-degree murder to get a deliberate foul in this kind of situation.
Well, he was going for the ball. That's a fair call. Henderson now goes to the line. Pressure will be on Henderson, but like Dawkins, he's a clutch player, and he thrives on this situation. Big Gully's stationed down there on one side for the rebound. Todd, 6'9", center across from him. Well, Henderson now stepped up, and if he hits this one, it might be more than Lamar can handle. Well, as they say, they all count. It's like going in the back door of the golf.
He covered the area. That's no doubt about it.
There's some doubt. Duke's had quite a few fans here. You got to look at some of their breathing a little bit easier. Now for a 4-point lead. Might have been just as well off to miss that one. Let the clock start. 4 seconds. Now Duke can just let Lamar have a basket. McCauley, and there's the game, and Duke wins it by 4 at 66-62. So it's going to be Duke versus UAB. And the matchup of the ranked team, and a rematch of a year ago when they square off here in Houston Summit on Sunday. We hope you'll join us then at 8 p.m. A winner to advance to Madison Square Garden, and we'll bring you the action live on the News Blue Television Network. So until then, this is Jim Thacker for Mike Edmondson. Thanking you so much for joining us. And the final score once more was Duke 66 and Lamar 62.